Okay, this is the Culture Corner. This is Stephen, better known as Credible from Elite Rhythm, and I'm here to tell you about Carnival today. Alright, so at Carnival you're going to hear all types of music, and that's because you've got the floats, you've got your static sounds. So your static sounds are basically those sounds that just stay there, and you see those speakers, you see a DJ there playing music. You got your floats that are playing music too. So the static sounds usually deal with all kinds of music. So we're talking your reggae, your dance, all kinds of stuff in the static sounds. When it comes to floats and those trucks on the road, most of them are playing soca music, but you've also got some Brazilian bands as well, and they play samba as well. So yeah, there's all music across the board. So no matter what you love, you can find it at Carnival. But when it comes to floats and Notting Hill Carnival and the passion behind it and what keeps it going and where it's come from, it's all come from soca music, calypso, and basically based and rooted from the Caribbean. When we're talking about the impact of music in Notting Hill Carnival and the floats especially, just to talk a bit about the floats and the bands, behind those trucks you've got people in costume. Usually they're in a theme that has been given by whoever runs that band. So for instance, I run the Rhythm Tribe, and we've got a theme called Rain, which is all about kings and queens, and we've got costumes that are basically based on that theme. So yeah, people dress up in their costume, whatever section that they choose, and that's men and women, boys and girls, it doesn't matter who, everyone gets involved and all that kind of stuff. And the link to the music is, I think for me, and getting into it, which we'll come into in a bit, but it's all about freedom and expressing yourself when you hear the music. So no matter what music you're into, especially when you're hearing soca music, you feel like you can be that character or playing that theme, and that's what Carnival's about when you're joining a float or a mass band as they're called. So whenever you get involved, feel free to do what you want to do. That's what it's about. Just spreading the love with everyone around you, and just getting to know the people, new people, young and old, no matter where they're from. So what you can find in Notting Hill Carnival, you'll probably hear the words mobile sound system and static sound systems. So static sound systems, they're the ones that, speakers stay in one place. You've got the DJ there, they've got their own space in the streets of Notting Hill somewhere. So there's quite a few of them dotted around the area when it comes to Notting Hill Carnival. And then you've got the mobile sound system. So those are the ones where you see on the trucks, no matter whether they're 7-foot trucks, whether they're 40-foot trucks, those are your mobile sound systems, just pumping the music as loud as they can. So that's the difference between the two. Rules about Carnival, all right? So there are rules. The main rule is enjoy yourself. That's the main rule. Enjoy yourself, feel free, dance, jump up, wave your flag, wave your rag, whatever it is. When you're involved in Carnival and behind a float, in a mass band, get involved, and that's what it's all about. That's the main rule. The other rule is just respect the people around you. Everyone keeps it safe, especially when you're in a mass band. You're going to have security there, you're going to have people looking after you, but you want to make sure that everyone around you is safe as well. So definitely want to respect the people around you. And again, number 3 is just have fun again. Have fun. That is the main thing with Carnival. Make sure you get involved. And you know what that could mean. You want to get involved before the actual Carnival. So you may want to make costumes. You may want to get involved in that. If you do, that's not a problem. I'm sure the guys here can give you a list, or you can come join us, the Rhythm Tribe, if you want to. All right. But plenty of bands that you can join in terms of children mass bands, teenage mass bands, and so on. And we have a teenage and children section as well. So, you can get involved from early, get to know the culture, which a lot of people do. And what they find is when they join a band, they usually end up in it for life. That's kind of how family orientated Carnival is. So it's all about family and love and just embracing each other. All right, so my story in terms of Carnival, it's quite a long one. I mean, first of all, when it comes to soca music and Carnival, it's come from the Caribbean. We're talking about Trinidad, Barbados, Grenada, and so on. I'm not from the Caribbean. I'm from Ghana. That's where my parents were born. I was born here in the UK. And, I was taken to my first Carnival around 14. Loved the vibe, loved the music, that I was hearing. Didn't know it, but just loved the vibe. You could see that everyone was just enjoying themselves, and I wanted to find out more about the music. So, ended up following a station a couple of years later on, Choice FM, where Martin J, who you could say was one of the pioneers here in the UK, that brought the music kind of to the forefront, especially for people within the community. He used to have a radio station. I used to listen to it religiously, just took in the music. He used to tell you about the history and all that kind of stuff. So I got into it, and then eventually started going to the parties and so on, and joined a mass band. So I ended up joining a carnival band where I helped them with like dance classes. So they used to have dance classes, and I used to help them build their costumes and stuff like that. So got into, I jumped from a couple of bands over the years, seeing, the different kind of things that were involved. About 7 years ago, started my mass band, and, getting different people involved. I created a party as well around soca music, so more people could learn about the music, just enjoy it as it is. We managed to create so many fans and people getting involved into soca and carnival. So yeah, it's kind of been a long kind of story for me. I've DJ'd for different mass bands across the world. We're talking about the US, we're talking about the Caribbean, so Trinidad, Barbados, Grenada, hopefully St. Lucia when things open up, we'll see, and Europe, and we did the first carnival in Ghana, in Kumasi as well, 2 years ago. So again, once things open up, hopefully we'll be able to do that. But yeah, it's just spreading that love and that culture around carnival and soca music, which doesn't really get its fair dues, as it were, because people think it's either reggae or they class it as world music. But soca music is it's a big genre with different parts to it. You get your bashment soca, you get your bouillon, which is different. You get your zouk as well, which is all kind of included in that kind of area of soca music. So yeah, there's loads of different aspects to it. Getting started in soca music, in carnival culture. First of all, the good thing is, if you type in soca now into Spotify or Apple Music, you'll actually find soca music, even though there's not a specific genre yet. But that's what we're pushing for. But if you type it in, you'll more than likely find soca music there. Speak to people that are involved. You can obviously get in contact with us at Release the Rhythm, at the Rhythm Tribe. But yeah, get to know the history. Try and get involved in a mass band where it comes to making costumes and stuff like that, because you get to see the family feel. You get that kind of love and respect and all that kind of stuff that's involved in a mass band. So yeah, try and do that. If you want to be a DJ in terms of soca music, learn about history, because yeah, I think that's one of the main things. Anyone can get the new music and all that kind of stuff, but if you know about the history, then you'll find that promoters and other DJs will they'll see that you know what you're talking about, you know what you're playing, and you're in there, you kind of understand the culture, which is important. So yeah, try and do that. All right, so you've got your different variations of soca music. As I mentioned, soca's come from calypso. So calypso ended in like the 90s, and it's kind of like storytelling, kind of spoken, I wouldn't say spoken word, but they sing stories on old kind of calypso beats. And I guess the most famous calypso song you could say is Hot Hot Hot. Everyone knows that tune. Feeling hot hot. Yeah, everyone knows that tune. All right, so that's the most famous one. But soca's moved on a lot since then. You've got your different versions of soca. So if you look at your different islands, soca mainly from Trinidad and Tobago. That's where people say soca originated from. You've got bouillon, which come from the French Caribbean islands. You've got zouk as well, which comes from that kind of region as well. And then you've got things like bashment soca, which you could say originated from, some people might say Trinidad, but mainly in Barbados. That's where you get your bashment soca. So for those that like their dancehall and that kind of stuff, yeah, you'll find that Bajans are heavily influenced with that kind of thing. You've got Grenada, who have jab, so-called jab as they call it. I'll get to jab in a second. But yeah, jab music, and they all have a certain sound and feel, depending on what you're listening to. But yeah, I mean, for me, I just love it all. So there you go. So in most carnivals, what you'll find is you've got something called Juve. So Juve is like a celebration that happens before Carnival, where, you know, people will get dirty in like paint, mud, powder, all that kind of stuff, which of course is fun. And you know, it kind of comes from like blue devils and so on. So we're talking about from slavery days, and this is where, you know, Carnival kind of came about in general. From slavery days, being free, you know, being let free, and kind of depicting, you know, people that they were captured by, and also depicting themselves in chains and so on. So this is where jab comes in from Grenada, where they, you know, oil themselves up in black paint or oil, mainly oil. They've got chains, they're dragging chains and all that kind of stuff, and they're just enjoying the music and just depicting the freeness that they've got. So that's where Juve and kind of jab comes in. And yeah, they usually, well, everyone says, and I'll say it, Grenada has the best jab or the best Juve. So yeah, if you've never experienced it, one day hopefully you can. All right, so I've given you the different kinds of music and I've mentioned them, but you know, there's a certain sounds that they have which you can listen out for. I actually forgot to mention St. Lucia. They've got something called Denery, but let me give you kind of a description of what these sound like. So I'm going to leave Trinidad last, because I think Trinidad is kind of the base when it comes to soca music. It's so we'll leave that last. So we'll go with Denery, which has got a hard beat. You can say even an African beat, kind of slower to a mid-tempo. Very bassy as well when it comes to their music. When it comes to jab music, what you're going to hear is a conch shell. So you'll hear a horn kind of sound, usually a lot in their music, and it's just pumping. And usually their music is very fast, very pacey, made for you to jump up and down, run up and down, do whatever you want kind of thing. That's kind of their music. With Barbados, I mentioned bashment soca, so you're going to hear them bashment rhythms, them dancehall rhythms kind of in their music for sure. Zouk, Bouillon, Dominica, St. Lucia again, kind of French sounding. You'll hear a lot of high pitched kind of notes, and again some more horns, conch shells as well. And bring you back to Trinidad, where right now you can say they're blending a lot of their music. So you're going to hear their music that has fusions of, you know, dancehall, reggae, R&B even. It's got a fusion of everything. So, you know, even EDM even. So a lot of their music is blended to, you know, suit what's going on at this current moment. So you're going to find all kinds of sounds, and you must find one that you like, which you can learn about or just listen to and enjoy. So when it comes to the music played at Carnival, again, you know, I've mentioned the static sounds. They're playing all kinds of other music, which is great for everyone that wants to enjoy those different types of music. When it comes to mass bands that are on the road, I mean, for me personally, it has to say soca music. It has to say 100%. I know there are other bands that might represent maybe Jamaica, which obviously soca is not their number one music as such. So I know that they play dancehall and all that kind of stuff, which attracts those people that like dancehall. But I don't know whether this is controversial or not, but when it comes to soca music, you know, it's always about positivity. It's all about unity. It's all about bringing other people in so people can enjoy it. Whereas other types of music don't really have that message. And what you find is with other bands or people around those other bands, you usually find trouble. So I'm always like, when it comes to soca music, it's always positive, and that has to be 100% when it comes to mass bands. Check out my SoundCloud, Release the Rhythm. You can also find it on Mixcloud. So I do a show on Bacchanal Radio as well, bacchanalradio.co.uk. Always get that wrong. See, I prefer com, but anyway. Bacchanalradio.co.uk, and yeah, they've got soca music pumping more or less 24 hours. They've got a bit of reggae and all that kind of stuff as well, so they do change it up. But yeah, if you want to listen to soca music on a regular basis, make sure you check that out as well. You can obviously follow myself on all social media now, Credible RDR. So you'll be able to find me on everything, Twitch, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, you can just light the flames, fire in the chat. So I'm going to pick out a few tunes that I'm going to mix down for you guys. YAA, make sure you check it out on SoundCloud. It will be there just for you guys to listen to. So yeah, let me know if you like it.